I stitched multiple wildlife photographs together to get this image. At the end of this video, I show you how it looks in a print. Every step through Photoshop explained, so stick around, grab a coffee, and let's get into it. Hi everyone, have you ever been out photographing wildlife? You got your telephoto lens, everything's set up, whether it's on a tripod or handheld. You got it set to continuous burst, so you're shooting at 10, 15, 20 frames per second. You're following your subject along, you're blasting away, and you're getting everything tack sharp. But there's one thing that you're missing, and that is the composition is off. The bird is either too close to one side or the other, there's not enough breathing room. And a lot of the times it's because you're in the heat of the moment. When I'm trying to take photographs of wildlife, I'm thinking about composition and where they're at. But wildlife is not just standing still waiting for you to go ahead and set up the perfect shot. They're moving, you're moving, everything is happening so fast. So what do you do if all of your shots are perfect in every way except for your subject just isn't exactly where you want it to be? Now there's a few ways you can go ahead and work around this. Maybe you have plenty of room where you can crop in and you can do your 2/3 ratio and save the image that way. But you might be losing out on a lot of pixels and you just might not have that flexibility. Well, in this episode, I'm going to teach you how you can go ahead and stitch multiple images together so that all of those other shots that you've made in your burst as you're following your subject through blasting away, those might be very useful for you to go ahead and stitch into getting a pano or multiple images so that your subject as well as the environment make for a very compelling image. Alright everyone, so we're in Lightroom. I've already uploaded my images. This is on a trip that I took to Vancouver and I was photographing short-eared owls. I got a whole video of me out in the field photographing these. So this is great. We're in the studio. I want to edit these and see what we got. I've already narrowed down some of the images. As you can see here on the screen, this shot is lovely. Shot I like a little bit more. And now this one, I kind of like its wings and where it's looking. Let's zoom in here for a second. Yeah, it looks great. You can see the eyes there. Tiny bit of noise. I think this is at 4000 ISO. And aperture is 4.5 and I'm shooting at 2,000th of a shutter. Now it's quite close to me, so I upped the shutter. That is what caused the ISO to go up higher. So everything about this I really love, but the composition is just not there. He's looking out of the frame here, and I just need more field. So let's try and stitch things together here. If I look before that, again, it's just too close. This owl is moving quite fast. I was trying to keep up with it, and I got the autofocus. So all of these shots are lovely, but they're just all outside that frame. So let's make this 8 green. So I'm using my numbers here on the keypad to kind of color code. You can do it for the 1 through 5 for star value. I've already starred these 5, so we're gonna make them green. So let's do green here. I have 8 photos where I follow the short-eared owl along the field. That if I combined the atmosphere, the field, the background, but have that owl in the one image, I think that would be a great stitched sort of pano image. Now we're talking about wildlife, not landscaping, and I'm moving, right? And I have a 500mm lens. Will this work? Well, let's take a look. Now I'm gonna hit the green button down here so we can just eliminate everything else. All right, so now that I got my selection, I'm gonna go ahead and just stitch them together. I can worry about editing all the lighting and the color, everything afterwards. I just want to see if everything will stitch together because it'll take some time. Highlighted them all, I right clicked, go to edit, and then down here it says merge to panorama in Photoshop. I'm gonna click that. It's gonna open up Photoshop, and it's going to take those 8 images and put them here where it says photo merge. Now my layout could be auto, perspective. I'm just going to go auto. Let's just make it easy and see what it's going to spit out for me. But you can see how it will go ahead and twist and manipulate the images to whatever perspective and scenario you want. We're just going to go auto here. And then it's got blend images together checked. So the cool thing is about Photoshop is that it will blend them all together, but it'll give me everything in layers. So the end result will be a one image blend together of the 8 images. But when I look over to the right side here, it'll have all 8 of those images kind of separated or deconstructed. So if one image isn't really jiving with the rest of them, I can delete them, that sort of thing. Lightroom, on the other hand, when you ask it to merge it, it just spits out one final result. You can do some changes with it, and then that's pretty much it. It's difficult to kind of edit and play around with the different layers when Lightroom doesn't give you that option. So for this type of purpose, when you're dealing with wildlife and sort of a complex multi-image stitching scenario, Photoshop is going to be your only tool, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if somehow you stitched wildlife photos together or have ever done that in Lightroom. I've tried it a couple of times, it just doesn't work for me. Here we go. Photoshop has taken these images, stitched them together, and it has chosen, I guess, the last image with the short-eared owl as sort of my subject, as like, all right, they're all blended. We removed all the other owls except for this one. So this is the one owl I don't want, but that's okay. So we need to take a look at what has happened here. And as you can see, it's like taken chunks from each image and has pieced them all together. So that is pretty cool. I'm sure if I reversed everything, it would do the owl that I want first, which is probably way down here. If we were to take shift, and if I exited these guys, you can see them kind of like layers in a book, all layered up. So pretty neat. All right, so what we're gonna wanna do is first find out which owl, where's my owl? We wanna know which one's mine. Is it this one? Yeah, it's that one. So there's that one before it. So I'm gonna take this image right here. I'm gonna select it. Now white, when we're painting on a mask, is for revealing. White is to reveal, black is to conceal. I've selected the image that has the owl that I want, which is the second one here. And I can even just write in the name here. Prized owl. So that's my owl that I want. And it's right now mostly black, except for there's this chunk area that the program has used to stitch this all together. So I'm gonna get my paintbrush, got white here, and then I'm just gonna get out of here, not now. Zoom in a tiny bit. I'm gonna put the opacity all the way up so we can just get her all there in focus. Look at that, pretty cool. We're halfway there. Now, what's really neat is this image shows 2 owls now, and now it's the same owl, but it's kind of neat where you can have multiple shots, and you can create a story through multiple images that that can be your own in photography. So why not have this as sort of an art form where you can have multiple owls in one shot as sort of an art piece? Well, you can do that by stitching these together, and I can keep going with this so that I can have like 7 or 8 owls kind of flying at one another in an art form. So that may be something pretty cool that I might do and share. But right now we're just staying focused and just completing one owl in a much better composite form through stitching images, not 2 owls. But if I wanted 2 owls, boom, we could just call this fairly good. I could stitch these together and create one image where it's all in one. And how you do that is you select all your images here, shift, and then if I do Command E, I'm on a Mac, it'll merge them all into one form. So Command E, boom, now we have this one image and we don't have all the files. And what I could do is take the healing brush, spot removal, and I can remove that owl. So let's do Command Z. I'm going to do Command J, and for J it means duplicate. So I duplicated all 8 of those files, and then I'm going to do Command E. So now I have still my 8 files down below, and then I have my 1 file up above. And if I click on the spot healing, you can see what it does over here. Well, I can go ahead and highlight this owl, and the program will do its best at removing it, just taking it away, and then filling it with the pixels from around that area. It did an okay job. We can do better. We can hit the clone stamp, and we can slowly clone stamp it. And this is a mush background, doesn't really matter, la-di-da. And bada boom, we have it. We're finished. It's done. Well, it's not quite done. There's some editing, there's some trimming. I want to crop in from the bottom, from the top, that sort of thing. Now, that is the sort of easy way on getting rid of it, and the background isn't actually the background anymore. It's just different pixels that have mushed in to remove that owl. So that's one way of doing that. Let's get rid of this. I'm just going to delete it. Let's get rid of this owl so we still have the right background, and we're just going to go through and see what background has an owl that's far enough away. I guess we're gonna have to just combine these. Alright, let's see here. Okay, we know we can get rid of this little guy here. We're just gonna have to slowly, piece by piece, get rid of this owl so that we have the true background. Let's get rid of that whole wing. So we're working our way up the chain of images. It's kind of neat because we're keeping the background true to what the background is. I'm just finding images where the owl is before or after this little small section that I'm trying to remove the furthest owl from, if that makes sense. We might only get it so far because shooting at 20 frames per second is pretty fast. Okay, so there's a little bit left, and now we're going to result to spot removal. I'm actually going to go ahead and take the image that we just finished here. Now this one has already been stitched together, and then this was our final outcome. But I thought I would just take this one that has 8 stitched together images and then try and stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just do another 8 to this one. and see how far we can go with this. I'm going to speed this up. I do the exact same thing. I add a bunch more images, and then I have to go ahead and remove a few things, and then I did some editing and got it all ready for printing. I use a few programs to get rid of the noise and do all my editing. I can show all of that in a future video. So as you can see here, this would have been my one shot is with this owl, and I framed it right around there. And as the owl flew through here, there's about, I think it's 10 to almost 16 images. Well, if you like this content, please give me that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. I hope to see you on the next video. And if you want to check out some of my other work, I got landscape and wildlife videos that are going to pop up on the screen. Feel free and give those a click. Thank you and have a great day.